Inside a dimly lit hut, Chinaza traced her fingers along the pages of an astrology book. Outside, the village was alive, women pounding fufu in wooden mortars, children ran barefoot through the dusty path, and elders sat under the big udara tree debating loudly about who had the fattest yam that season. But Chinaza was not interested in any of that. She was interested in the stars. Tonight, the sky held an answer for her. She peered outside, eyes narrowing. Venus was bright, promising romance. Mars was red, probably signaling an argument. She sighed dramatically. Trouble is coming. She just didn't realize the trouble would come from her own mother. Chinaza, you are 20 now, her mother, Mama Ngozi, said, hands on her hips. You are the only girl in this village still reading books about planets instead of cooking soup for a husband. Chinaza barely looked up. The planet decide my future, Mama. Her mother sighed. The only thing planet have decided is that you will stay single forever. Her younger sister Daisy giggled from the corner. Naza says she won't marry unless the stars agreed. Yes, Chinaza confirmed, nodding seriously. Mama Nkechi told me that Obinna the Panwan Tapa is interested in me, but I checked his birthday and he is a Scorpio. Mama Ngozi frowned. And Scorpio are too intense. Can you imagine? I would be making egusi soup and he would be standing behind me, all serious, saying, do you really love me? Prove it. Mama, I refuse to suffer like that. Mama Ngozi threw her hands in the air. Chineke, what have I done to deserve this girl? Adaeze laughed so hard that she almost fell from her stool. That evening, Papa Ngozi called her outside. You have a visitor, he said, barely containing his excitement. Standing next to him was Ikenna, the son of a wealthy yam trader. Tall, handsome, rich, basically every Igbo mother's dream son-in-law. Chinaza studied him. He had strong arms from lifting heavy yam tubers, perfect white teeth that curved into a gentle smile. Her mother gave her a look that said, if you mess this up, I will personally send you to Mars. But Chinaza only had one question. What is your star sign? She asked, tilting her head. Ikenna blinked. I was born in the season of Harmattan, when the wind is cold and the dust is thick in the air. Chinaza gasped. She turned to her mother in distress. Mama, he is a Capricorn. Mama Ngozi groaned. Oh, for the love of God, what is wrong with Capricorn? They are too serious, too practical. Capricorns don't believe in dreams, Mama. A Capricorn husband will make me wake up at 5 a.m. to sweep the compound and then tell me it's good for my discipline. Ikenna frowned. So you are rejecting me because of the stars? Yes. Papa Ngozi looked like he was about to explode. Chinaza, the only star you should be worried about is the one that will disappear when your mother smacks you. But Chinaza stood her ground. I will only marry a man whose star aligns with mine. That is final. Ikenna shook his head and walked away. Her mother grabbed her head in frustration. Papa Ngozi muttered, if she keeps this up, she will marry the moon instead of a man. Weeks passed and Chinaza ignored the disapproving stares of the village women. She knew the universe had a plan for her. And then one night, something strange happened. A new star appeared in the sky, brighter than the others. She gasped. This is it. My sign. Are you sure it is not just a really bright mosquito? But Chinaza was already flipping through her astrology books. No. This is destiny. A guiding light. Something amazing is about to happen. And the next morning it did. A traveler arrived in the village. A young man whose skin was dark as midnight. His name was Chukwudi. He was a dibia, a wise man from a distant town, known for their deep knowledge of the heavens. We followed the dog star, Cyrus. He told her under the Udara tree. It tells us when the rain will come. We listen to the whispers of the universe. Chinaza nearly fainted. You believe in the stars? She gasped. Chukwudi smiled. Of course, they are the language of the gods. She stared at him. Was this her sign? With shaking hands, she asked the most important question of all. What is your star sign? Chukwudi thought for a moment. Sagittarius. Chinaza screamed. Adaeze came running. What? Did the scorpion bite you? No, he is a Sagittarius. Adaeze blinked and... Sagittarius and Aries are the perfect match. The universe had spoken. Adaeze sighed. So you mean if he had said Pisces, you would have walked away? Chinaza paused. Of course. I can't be marrying a Pisces. They cry too much. If we had a small argument, he probably writes me a poetry about his sadness. Adaeze shook her head and walked away. This is why you have no husband. But Chinaza had made her choice. Her parents were skeptical. You want to marry a Dibia? Do you even know where he's from? But Mama, he understands the stars. He listens to the universe. Her father grumbled. Does the universe own a yam ban? But Chinaza wasn't listening. For the first time in her life, she was not looking at the sky for directions. She had found her destiny, standing right in front of her. The village of Umueze was still talking about the great astrology drama that had happened in the square. Chinaza had not married anyone yet, but she had made it clear Chukwudi was her dream man, or at least for now. But Ikenna was not giving up. Ikenna could not accept defeat. He had yam bands, muzzles, and white teeth. How could he lose to some stargazing traveler? So he came up with a master plan. One evening, Chinaza was strolling through the village square with Chukwudi when a mysterious old man in a red wrapper appeared. The man had a long white beard, which looked suspiciously fake, and held a staff covered in strange-looking marks. Chinaza, the old man boomed. She froze. Yes, Papa, I have seen your future. Chinaza's heart raced. Eh? What did you see? The Dibia, who was actually Ikenna's uncle Nnamdi in disguise, waved his staff dramatically. You are meant to marry a great man, a man of yams, a man of strength, a man whose name starts with... He paused for effect. I? Chinaza blinked. Ikenna? Yes! Chinaza narrowed her eyes. Wait. Why does your voice sound so familiar? The Dibia coughed. This is because the spirits are speaking through me. Just then a strong breeze blew across the square, and the fake beards flew right off his face. That's Uncle Nnamdi, she shouted. Ikenna sprinted away immediately. Chinaza turned to Chukwudi, who was laughing so hard. He had to hold his stomach. She sighed. This is my life now, isn't it? Word spread far and wide that Chinaza had not yet married, and before she knew it, her old suitors started coming back, hoping she had changed her mind. One day, Obinna showed up at her door, holding a giant calabash of palm wine. Chinaza, my Aries queen, he declared. She blinked. Excuse me? I know you love astrology, he grinned, and I have been studying the stars just for you. Chinaza raised an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yes, I have learned that my star sign is Leo. But you were born in April. Obinna panicked. Maybe I was born late. Chinaza sighed. Obinna, I cannot date a man who does not even know his own birthday. Obinna muttered. At least taste my palm wine before you reject me again. One afternoon, a wealthy chief from another village arrived, wearing gold rings on every finger and carrying a walking stick he clearly didn't need. I heard that you are looking for a husband, Chief Okonkwo said, smiling like a rich man who just bought all the pepper soup in the market. Chinaza crossed her arms. Who told you that? Everyone is talking about it, he gestured dramatically. A woman as beautiful as you should not be studying the stars. You should be counting money in my mansion. Chinaza stared at him. What's your star sign? The chief frowned. My dear, money is my only star sign. Chinaza shook her head. Oga, please go home. Chief Okonkwo scoffed. These modern-day girls don't know what they want. He turned and stormed off. After dealing with Obinna, Chief Okonkwo and Ikenna, Mama Ngozi finally snapped. Every day, a new man is showing up at my door, she yelled. I can't even pound my yam in peace. Maybe the stars sent them, Mama, Chinaza teased. Mama Ngozi grabbed her slipper. Come here, let me send you to the stars. That evening, Chinaza and Chukwudi escaped the madness and went to their favorite spot, under the udara tree. You know, Chukwudi said, I don't mind if we take our time. Chinaza smiled. Good, because my mother is not ready to stop fighting these men. Chukwudi chuckled. And what about Ikenna? She sighed. He will never stop trying. Just then, a voice called from the distance. My beloved Eris, I have found my true star sign. It was Ikenna, running towards them with a new astrology book in hand. Chukwudi groaned. I should have seen that coming. Chinaza just laughed. For months, Chinaza believed she had found her soulmate. Chukwudi, her perfect Sagittarius, had everything. Charm, adventure, and the exact star sign she wanted in a man. One evening, while Chinaza was reading her horoscope under the udara tree, Chukwudi sat in a dark corner of the village square laughing with his friend. A bet is a bet, Nandi. His closest friend smirked. I told you, no woman can resist you for long. Chukwudi grinned. You doubted me, didn't you? Of course. Before, she wouldn't even look at you. But now she follows you around like a lovesick puppy. That's because I studied her weakness, Chukwudi said, sipping his palm wine. Her weakness is the stars. All I needed to do was pretend to be her perfect Sagittarius man. Both of them burst into laughter. So what next? Nnamdi asked. Chukwudi smirked. Easy. I will get her to fall completely in love with me and then I will impregnate her. Then I will move on to the next girl. Simple. Ikenna, who had been walking past, overheard everything. He froze. His heart pounded. Chukwudi is lying to Chinaza. Before he could stop himself, he marched forward. You snake, Ikenna shouted, his voice cutting through the night air. Chukwudi's friend turned. See trouble. Chukwudi, calm as ever, leaned back. Ikenna, what's your problem? Jealousy? Jealousy, Ikenna's hand curled into fist. You are using Chinaza to play games. You made a bet on her. Chukwudi smirked. And what will you do about it? I will tell her the truth. Chukwudi laughed. Oh, really? And do you think she will believe you? He took a sip of his palm wine. She already thinks you are an obsessed loser who can't take rejection. Ikenna froze. Chukwudi leaned in. Go ahead, tell her. She will just think you are lying to break us up because you are still in love with her. Ikenna felt sick because Chukwudi was right. The next day, Ikenna rushed to find Chinaza. She was sitting under her favorite tree, reading about the moon phases and soulmates. Chinaza, he said breathless, I need to talk to you. She frowned. What is it this time, Ikenna? Are you here to tell me you are suddenly a Scorpio? This isn't about me, he snapped. It's about Chukwudi. Chinaza rolled her eyes. Not this again. Listen to me, Ikenna grabbed her hand. He's playing you. He's not who he say he is. He made a bet with his friend that he could make you fall in love with him and then he will impregnate you. Chinaza yanked his hand away. What kind of nonsense is this? It's the truth. She shook her head. Ikenna, this is exactly why I don't take you seriously. You're always trying to find ways to ruin my happiness. His jaw tightened. So you won't even consider that I might be telling the truth? The star already told me he is the one for me, she snapped. Why would I believe you over them? Ikenna felt rage burning in his chest. So, that's it. You trust some horoscope book over me? Chinaza lifted her chin. Yes, because the stars never lie. Ikenna stared at her for a long moment. Then he exhaled sharply and walked away. Fine, he thought. She will find out the hard way. For the next few weeks, Chinaza ignored Ikenna's warning. She was walking home from the stream when she heard Chukwudi laughing with his friend. She paused behind the tree and listened. So what's the plan now? Nnamdi asked. Chukwudi chuckled. Honestly, I'm bored already. She's not ready to give me what I want. Until after marriage. Maybe I should just tell her that I'm not ready for marriage and move on. But she's completely in love with you. Exactly, Chukwudi said. And that's the problem. She was more fun to chase. Chinaza's heart dropped. The man she thought was her perfect soulmate had just confirmed her worst fear. Chukwudi was a liar, a fraud, and Ikenna had been right all along. Chinaza confronted Chukwudi that night. "You lied to me," she said, voice shaking. "You pretended to be my soulmate just to win a stupid bet." Chukwudi sighed. "Chinaza, you're overreacting." Overreacting? Her eyes burned with tears. "I thought you were the one. The stars." He scoffed. "Forget the stars. Wake up, Chinaza. You let a book tell you what to do. It was too easy to fool you." Her whole body went cold. Chukwudi sighed dramatically. "Anyway, this was fun, but..." She slapped him hard across the face. Chukwudi stumbled back, holding his face. Chinaza's chest rose and fell. "I was blind," she said through clenched teeth, "but not anymore." Then she turned and walked away, and for the first time in months, she looked up at the stars and whispered, "I should have listened to Ikenna." For weeks after her painful breakup with Chukwudi, Chinaza was not the same. She still did all her chores, sweeping the compound, fetching water, helping her mother pound yam, but her usual spark was gone. She no longer laughed loudly at her sister's joke. She barely looked at her astrology books anymore. But she couldn't let go of them completely. Every time she thought about abandoning them, she would remember all the times they had been right. Of course, in a village like Umueze, news spread faster than wildfire in Harmattan. By now, everyone knew that Chinaza had been fooled by Chukwudi, and of course, the village people did not let her forget it. Whenever she passed, she would hear the whispers, "Ah, see Queen of Stars. Chinaza, had Saturn approved your outfit today? My dear, have you asked Jupiter if today is a good day to pound yam?" Even her own mother joined in sometimes. Chinaza sat quietly on the veranda. Her mother walked past her, shaking her head. "Why obeying the stars?" she muttered. "Next time, they will tell you the name of your real husband." Chinaza squeezed her eyes shut. This was humiliation at its peak. If there was one person who didn't mock her, it was Ikenna. But the problem was, he didn't speak to her at all. Before, he would visit her almost every day, begging her to listen to him, to give him a chance. But now, he still came to the house, but he didn't even look in her direction. Instead, he spent time with her younger sister. The moon was high in the sky, and Chinaza sat in the shadow of the compound, her arms wrapped around her knees. From where she sat, she could see Adora and Ikenna sitting near the fire, roasting corn and pear, talking and laughing. Ikenna looked so relaxed. His white teeth flashed in the firelight as he laughed at something Adora had said. "What is so funny?" Chinaza thought irritably. Then her mother joined them. Ikenna immediately stood up and said, "Mama, take my seat." Her mother smiled. "Ah, Ikenna, you are a true gentleman." Ikenna simply grinned and went to find another seat. He sat down again, stretched out his leg, and threw his head back in laughter at something her mother had said, and that was when it happened. Chinaza's eyes got stuck on him. The way his Adam's apple bulged as he swallowed, the way his muscles flexed as he cracked open a piece of roasted corn, the way the firelight danced across his skin. She couldn't stop looking. Her heart started pounding. Then he turned, and their eyes met. Even in the dim firelight, she knew he could see her, knew that he had caught her staring. For a second, neither of them moved. Then panic gripped her. Chinaza's heart raced as she quickly stood up and rushed into the house. But even as she closed the door behind her, pressing her back against it, she could still see his face in her mind, and that was when she knew she had a problem. The next day, Chinaza avoided Ikenna completely. She refused to sit near the fire. She refused to look at him. She refused to admit what had happened last night. But when she walked past her mother, the woman gave her a knowing look. So one name, Mama said, "Did the stars tell you to stare at Ikenna for 3 hours last night?" Chinaza choked on her own spit. Mama, I don't know what you are talking about, she stammered. Her mother burst into laughter. Ah! Obedient wife of the stars. The stars did not tell you to run away after your eyes locked with his. Chinaza ear burned. She quickly grabbed her basket and ran to the market. But as she walked, one thought refused to leave her mind. Why did my heart beat like that last night? Why does Ikenna look so different to me now? And why is my mother enjoying this so much? For days, Chinaza tried to ignore the strange feelings growing in her chest. She had spent her whole life believing that her soulmate had to be a perfect match to her star sign. Ikenna was not that man. So why in the name of Jupiter was her heart betraying her? Since the night their eyes met by the fire, Chinaza had done everything possible to avoid Ikenna. If she saw him coming, she would turn the other way. If she heard his voice, she would pretend to be busy. If he greeted her, she would barely mumble a response. But the worst part, he did not seem to care. He didn't ask why she was avoiding him. He didn't try to talk to her. He simply moved on as if she didn't exist, and that was driving her insane. At first, Chinaza told herself, good, let him stay away. The stars said we are not compatible anyway. But then he stopped coming to the house as often. And for some reason, that annoyed her more. As she helped her mother in the kitchen, she casually asked, Mama, has Ikenna been here today? Her mother gave her a knowing smirk. Why? Did the stars tell you to check on him? Chinaza rolled her eyes. Mama, I'm just asking. Her mother shrugged. He has been busy. He only comes when he feels like. When he feels like? Before, he was always here, always talking to her, always teasing her. But now, he barely looked in her direction. And she hated it. One afternoon, Chinaza was walking through the market when she saw him. He was not alone. He stood near a palm wine seller, talking to another girl. And not just any girl, Nkechi. Nkechi was beautiful. Her dimples were deep. Her skin was dark and smooth. And worst of all, she was laughing at something Ikenna said. And Ikenna was laughing with her. Chinaza froze. Her blood boiled. Why? Why did seeing him with another girl suddenly feel like a knife to her chest? She forced herself to walk past them, pretending not to care. But just as she walked by, she heard Nkechi say, Ikenna, you are so funny. You always know how to make a girl smile. And then the final blow. Ikenna's deep voice responded. Nkechi, I only talk to people who appreciate my company. Chinaza stumbled. Was that a jab at her? That evening, she sat by the fire picking at her food. Her mother noticed and sighed. What is wrong with you, Chinaza? Nothing. Mama shook her head. You look like someone whose star sign is losing a fight. Chinaza glared. Mama, must you joke about this? Mama just laughed. But seriously, is your stomach paining you or is just jealousy? Chinaza choked on her food. Mama. Her mother burst into laughter. You saw Ikenna today, didn't you? Chinaza clenched her jaw. So what if I did? Mama shook her head. And he was talking to another girl, right? Chinaza refused to answer. Her mother gasped dramatically. Wokemo, the stars did not prepare you for this betrayal. Good night, Mama, Chinaza snapped, storming off. But as she lay in bed that night, she couldn't stop thinking about it. Why did she care so much? Why did it hurt her to see him with someone else? And most importantly, why was she now wishing he would come back to her? But no matter how hard she tried, she could not unsee the way he and Nkechi were laughing together. No matter what she did, she could not erase the sound of his deep, rich laughter ringing in her ears. Her jealousy was growing like an angry thunderstorm in her chest. For days she pretended not to care, but the universe was not on her side. Because every time she turned the corner, there he was with Nkechi, and Nkechi was always smiling, and Ikenna was always smiling back. Chinaza was losing her mind. It happened at the village square. She had just finished buying palm oil for her mother when she heard it again, Ikenna's laugh. Her heart jumped. She turned her head and there he was, standing with Nkechi, laughing again. She knew she should walk away. She knew she shouldn't care, but before she could stop herself, she marched up to him and snapped. Ikenna, must you laugh so loudly? Are you the only one with a voice in this village? The moment the words left her mouth, she knew she had messed up. Nkechi's eyes widened. Ikenna slowly turned to face her and then he smirked. Chinaza's heart hammered. Why was he smirking like that? Why did he look so amused? Ikenna raised an eyebrow. Chinaza, are my laughs disturbing your star alignment? Chinaza's ear burned. I don't care what you do, she said quickly. I just think it's too much, that's all. He tilted his head. Oh, so you were listening. Chinaza's throat went dry. What? No, I wasn't. Ikenna grinned. Nkechi cleared her throat awkwardly. I should go. She gave Chinaza a polite nod before walking away. Chinaza felt victorious for a moment until she realized what just happened. She had just embarrassed herself and Ikenna knew it. From that day on, Ikenna became unbearable. He still ignored her, but whenever their eyes met, he would smirk knowingly. He didn't need to say anything. His expression alone mocked her. It was as if he was saying, "Oh, Chinaza, so you do care after all." It drove her mad, and the worst part, her mother noticed. Chinaza couldn't take it anymore. She needed to do something to regain control, so she made a decision. If Ikenna wanted to play games, then she would play too. That night she walked into the compound and said loudly, "Mama, I think it's time I consider a new suitor." She didn't look at him as she spoke, but she knew he was listening. She could feel his eyes on her. Her mother gasped. "Chinaza, this is a very wise decision." Her sister giggled. Maybe Jupiter had finally sent her a husband. Yes, Ikenna too can play this game. But what she didn't expect was Ikenna's smirk suddenly disappeared, and for the first time in weeks, he actually looked serious. Chinaza was not going to lose this battle. She had spent too many nights staring at the stars, asking them why her heart betrayed her. So she did what any stubborn woman would do. She decided to prove she was moving on. The next time a suitor came knocking, she didn't chase him away. She let him walk her home from the market. She even let him compliment her smile. All the while, she sneaked glances to see if Ikenna was watching, and oh, he was. But instead of looking jealous and miserable, as she had hoped, he just looked amused, as if he knew exactly what she was doing. That only infuriated her more. One day, Chinaza returned home from an outing with one of her new suitors. She had just stepped into the compound when his strong arms grabbed her wrist. Before she could react, she found herself pinned against the wall. The evening air was thick with tension. "Are you not tired of frustrating yourself just to torture me?" Chinaza's breath hitched. Ikenna's face was too close, his deep brown eyes searching hers with an intensity that made her chest tighten. She opened her mouth to protest, but the words died in her throat when his hand found her waist. Her entire body betrayed her. "We both know what is going on here, Chinaza," he continued, his voice a low, husky whisper. "You like me? No, scratch that. You love me, and you refuse to admit it." His presence was overwhelming, his scent intoxicating. Wood smoke, sweat, and something purely Ikenna. She turned her head away. "You are full of yourself." Ikenna chuckled, his breath warm against her cheek. "Am I? Then tell me, why do you keep looking at me when you think I'm not watching?" Chinaza's stomach did a backflip. He noticed. "Why do you get so angry when I talk to other women?" he pressed on. She clenched her jaw. "Why did your hands tremble just now when I touched you?" Chinaza's entire body betrayed her again. She tried to step away, but his grip tightened just slightly. "Is it so painful to love me?" His voice softened, but his eyes burned with emotion. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. "I have loved you," he confessed, his voice raw, "but you kept running away, pretending you didn't care. But I think it's time we stop this before we hurt ourselves." Chinaza's heart squeezed painfully. She didn't want him to stop. She didn't want him to walk away. The thought of never seeing his teasing smirk again, of never hearing his laugh, of never feeling his warmth near her, It felt like someone had ripped the ground from underneath her feet. Ikenna sighed, pulling back just slightly, his expression unreadable. Then slowly he lifted a hand and traced a finger along her jaw. His touch was gentle, yet it sent shivers down her spine. "Do you even know how beautiful you are?" His voice was softer. Chinaza's breath caught. Ikenna's eyes roamed over her face, taking in every detail as if he had never truly allowed himself to look before. "Your eyes, Chinaza, they hold the entire universe. I could lose myself in them 1,000 times and never want to find my way back." Her chest rose and fell sharply. "Your lips," his gaze dropped, his tongue barely brushing over them. "Do you know how many times I have imagined kissing them? How many times I have stopped myself?" His eyes met hers again, dark and filled with something she couldn't name. "Every time you walk into a room, the air shifts. You make the stars seem dull, Chinaza." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, and not just because of your face. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you fight for what you believe in, even when it drives me mad." His fingers gently caressed the side of her face, his voice lowering even more. "There is no other woman for me. There never had been. It has always been you, and it will always be you." Tears burned her eyes. His forehead rested lightly against hers. "The stars are there to guide us, not mislead us," he murmured. "To bring us happiness, not pain. But you, Chinaza, you choose your own path, not a damn book." His breath was warm against her skin, his hands still firm on her waist. "If I am wrong about your feelings, tell me now, and I will never look your way again." Her breath hitched. The words felt too big, too heavy, but she couldn't hold them in anymore. "I don't want that," she whispered. Ikenna froze. She lifted her gaze to meet his, her voice barely a breath. "I want you, Ikenna." The moment the words left her lips, his arms wrapped around her tightly. A gasp left her mouth as he put her flushed against him, his strong, callous hands pressing onto her back. She buried her face in his chest, inhaling deeply. It felt so right, so warm, so perfect. Ikenna pressed a lingering kiss on her forehead, his lips warm against her skin. "Finally," he murmured. "You stubborn woman." Chinaza let out a weak laugh, smiling against his chest. They stood there wrapped in each other's, unaware of the group of villagers returning from the stream had spotted them. The whispers spread fast. By the next morning, half of the village had already heard about their embrace. Of course, nothing stayed a secret in the village. Her mother couldn't stop smiling. "My daughter is finally using her head," she said, clapping her hands. "The stars tried, but love has won." Even Chinaza had to laugh. And 6 months later, when she walked with the palm wine in her palm towards Ikenna, she realized something. It wasn't the stars that had brought her to him, it was her heart. And for once she was happy she had listened. And for the first time, she was glad she had stopped looking to the sky, because everything she needed was right here on earth. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you in the next one. Bye.